Hey there, welcome back. Um, I wanted to wait a little bit and really think about what I wanted to say on this. There's a lot of thoughts and lots of things swirling in my head. The whole story about starving the rabbit, that's so true. We have to feed our bodies. I've seen so many people go below 1,000 calories or even below 1,200 calories, and they're wondering why their metabolism isn't working, why they're not losing weight, why they're even gaining weight. You have to fuel your body. It's body, mind, it's our soul, it's our spirit. So it's not just with food. We also need to go to God. So I've just learned that through the years that it's better to pour out of the Spirit than of yourself. You're going to wear yourself out. So you have to go to God for your strength in everything that you do, from choices that you make with your food, even your temptations. Lord, just ask the Lord what you want to do with you that day, and to help guide you that day in making the wise choices. So, leaning on Him for everything, going to Him in relationship. He wants such a close relationship with you in everything that you do. And once you have that relationship with Him, your days are gonna go so much easier, so much lighter, because He carries that load for you. He is your strength. He is your support. He's your comfort. He's your peace. So go to Him. Start your day off with Him. Try not to carry everything on yourself. This is something that I had to learn the hard way. I'm a type A personality. I have to fix it. Things have to be dun 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 dun, and I don't sit still. So it's one of those things where I just want to fix everything. I want to control everything. And it doesn't work that way. It really doesn't. He is the only one that controls it all. And once we finally realize that and let Him know, hey, it's I can't do this anymore. Our valleys that we go through in life, our pits that we go through in life are going to be so much more joyful instead of tearful, because He carries us through those. And we have to go through those for growth. If it wasn't for those times of trials and pits in life, I would have never grown. I would have never understood what I understand today. And then I would not be in the relationship with Him that I am with Him. So it's important. Go to Him for everything, from all your choices. So just to kind of start that off, I love the whole story on starving the rabbits, because it's not just your food, it is Him as well. So you have to have it. It's all intertwined, every bit of it. Our first one is unrealistic expectations. The first thing I tell my clients is to get rid of your scales. Hide them or get rid of them. I don't want them searching for definement of who they are or where they're going by that number on the scale. I want them to focus more on their inches that they're losing, to focus on what their body's telling them, to see how they feel every day with how their pants are getting looser. So get rid of those scales. Those scales is nothing but the enemy trying to pump in negative thoughts in your head if it's not moving on the scale. The thing of it is, you can be losing inches but not losing on the scale simply by increasing muscle mass while you're decreasing fat mass. So it's important you don't look at that. It's nothing but a distraction on your weight loss goal. So ditch the scales. Step number one. Okay, I could not leave this out. This is so cute. I had to laugh because this really hits home for everybody. Just don't step on it. It makes you cry. Ditch the scales. Just ditch them. Okay, to take this a little step further, this is an example of 5 pounds of fat and 5 pounds of muscle. They both weigh the same. However, take a little notice on how much is larger than the other one. So which one will take up more space in your body than the other one? To kind of give you an example, two women, I'm just going to give you an example, two women, both 150 pounds, and one can wear a size 12 pair of pants while the other one wears a size 6. Big difference. One of them that wears a size 6 lifts weights. They have stronger muscles, less fat, whereas the one size 12 obviously does not lift a lot of muscles and would have more fat. The more muscle you have, the less fat mass you're going to have on you, because muscle is where your metabolism is stemmed from, and that's what you want to strive for. Denser, leaner muscles, and that will burn off your extra fat. Okay, this is where it kind of breaks it down for you, and I love this little chart. If you have less muscle, which if all you do is run, you don't lift any weights, and all you do is run, you're going to have less muscle because there's no pressure, no force being actually put on your muscle cells. Now, you will get what's called skinny fat, where you less muscles, you're going to be losing fat while you do cardio, but there's no muscle tone in it, so it's not going to go through, or it's not going to be able to give you that nice firm toned look. Now, if you have less muscle but more fat because you continue eating an excess amount of calories, that's considered more of unfit. Now, if you do lift weights, you're going to develop more muscle, and that's going to make you lose fat, so that would give you the more of the fit category. If you lift weights and you continue eating a massive amount of excess food, then that's going to have you more of the bulky type look. But you want to try to really watch what you eat, and really don't go below your calories, which we'll discuss in just a moment. But you don't want to go below your calories. You want to feel full, not stuffed, but feel full and satisfied. But it's important. I know you're doing a 5K, but don't forget about the weightlifting too. Weight-bearing exercises are very important, especially after the age of 30. So, and it doesn't have to be anything real heavy, just something to put force and build muscle. So you've got to have a little bit of muscle building mixed in with the cardio, and honestly, the research shows that is the best way for fat loss. And that is a combo of cardio and weight resistance. So don't leave that out at all. Make that part of your routine as well. Okay, it did not take you overnight to gain weight. So just know that in order to lose weight, it's not going to take you overnight either. So we're going to have to be realistic. You're not going to drop 2 jean sizes in one day, nor in 1 week. You won't lose 50 pounds in 1 month, unless you're on The Biggest Loser, and like it's mentioned, you know, there could be extreme problems there, and usually there's a weight gain rebound. Going to binge every now and then, especially if you deprive yourself, which we'll talk about in just a moment. You will go a day or two without working out. That's normal. Don't beat yourself up over it. It's okay. The weight is going to fluctuate here and there. You're going to retain water, and it's going to show up on the scales, because carbohydrates, when you consume that, it's going to actually retain water. And yes, it's going to look like you've gained weight on the scales. Well, it's water weight, so just know that. You're going to try new techniques. Each person is basically ticks differently inside. So what works good for one person is not going to work good for the other. So just know that. It's not a one-size-fits-all. You're human. Just know that. You are human. There's only one perfect person that walked this earth, and I'll tell you, it's not you. So you're going to make mistakes, and you're just going to have to knock failure out, because it happens to everybody. Nothing is as great or accomplished without a few obstacles, though. So, you know, that's where you learn, that's where you grow. So keep your head up, keep learning, document, keep a food diary, know what makes you feel icky or maybe tired, and discover that on your own. Just be patient with yourself and your body. It's very important you try to get your hormones leveled out too, because that plays one of the biggest roles in weight loss. You've got to have leveled out hormones. Some quit due to slow progress. It's important that you realize slow progress is progress. You're doing so much better than your friend that is constantly sitting on the couch. So putting one foot in front of the other, looking forward, constantly pushing yourself little bits each time. Don't knock yourself down. That is nothing but the enemy trying to slip inside your head and tell you negative thoughts. Refuse him. That is not who you're made of. That's not who you're made to be. You're made to be powerful, magnificent. You got God on your side. So don't allow that little enemy to slip in your head and tell you that you're not worth it, that you're not making any progress, that there's no goals going to be accomplished, that you're just going to backslide. Refuse that. That's nothing but the enemy. So know that you are making progress. Okay, I want you to drop the coulda, shoulda, woulda attitude. It's important that you ditch it. You're human. So if you're not a morning person, don't try to force yourself to get up and go exercise in the morning. If you're an evening workout person, then make sure you put that as part of your plan, part of your priority. If your health is important to you, then you're going to make it a priority. You will. If church is important to you, don't you make that a priority? If your family is important to you, don't you make that a priority too? So it's important that if your health is a priority, make small changes. It's a journey. It is not an overnight type deal, quick fix pill. There's no such thing. It is all a journey. So make that part of your lifestyle. Again, don't force yourself to do something that you just don't like. Find fun things that are active that you like to do. Like for instance, my kids don't lift weights, so I have to do that separately from them. But my cardio, they love to ride bikes. I can get some bike riding in, get some extra calories, and that's good bonding time, good family time, good memories made. So do something that is reasonable within your goals, within your lifestyle and what you like. But also don't be afraid to venture out and try something new, try something you haven't done. And you might need to maybe get in a group and play like, group racquetball or something. Anything that's different that you thought you didn't like, but with a group of friends, it's actually kind of fun. So just know that. Something else I want you to do too. I want you to document every day. It's like a food diary, what you're eating. But at the bottom of this food diary, I want you to also write in how many hours of sleep you got. I also want you to write in your mood, because mood plays a huge role. And when you clean out your diet, clean out your food, so to speak, you start eating clean food, that actually helps to start to level off your metabolic hormones, which is very important because your metabolic hormones controls a large amount of, well, it controls everything when it comes to weight loss. So you want to make sure you get enough sleep, plenty of sleep. Some research says at least 7 hours of sleep. Other research says 7.5 to 9 hours of sleep. I say shoot for at least 7.5. Go for that. If you don't get enough sleep, it does tend to cause some problems with your hormones because there's a lot of hormones that are released in the middle of the night. There's cortisol, leptin, ghrelin. There's so many different things that makes a huge matter whether you're gaining weight or losing weight. It has nothing to do with the gym or what you eat. It's the sleep. So just know that. Document the hours of sleep. Also document your mood. I want you to start paying closer attention to what you eat when you're sad, angry, frustrated. Tune in to see if you're truly an emotional eater. And then focus on productive, healthy, positive ways that you can deal with this instead of heading straight to the refrigerator. So just shoot for those small goals. Think about small behaviors such as eating in front of the TV late at night, maybe with potato chips or nuts. Limit that. Those extra calories is actually what puts on that extra weight. So know that. I want you to also start thinking of food as fuel. Food is medicine. Are you eating to live or living to eat? There's a different philosophy there. So I want to eat to live. I want to eat to fuel my body. I want to eat to fuel God's temple, to be more productive in a natural way so that I can pour out from the heart and do what I'm equipped and He made me to be. So you're the same way. You're the exact same way. So fuel your body up with the right amount. Think about those things too. Stop trying to do the shoulda, coulda, woulda attitude because you're human. Okay, you're human. Just know that. Small goals. Your small goals helps you in conquering your long-term goals. So maybe this week, increase your water and increase 5 minutes of extra exercise. Next week, maybe continue increasing your water, but add in an extra vegetable at each meal and increase your walking to an extra 5 minutes. Whatever routine it would be, with your exercise and your meal intake, it's important you work on small goals. Gosh, don't set yourself up for failure. Don't tell yourself you're going to lose 10 pounds in 1 week. Let me tell you, it's not possible. It's not physically possible. unless you're on The Biggest Loser under extreme workout conditions and physician care. And it's not healthy. It's just not to lose that. A good healthy weight loss is 1 to 2 pounds a week, and that is fat weight loss. Fat weight, not water weight. If you're losing 5 to 10 pounds in 1 week, let me tell you, it is water weight. And that's how some of those Biggest Loser people are losing a massive amount of weight, is because they drop the carbohydrates very quickly because they're used to consuming massive amounts. Carbohydrates hold on to water. And when you cut back on your carbs, automatically your body's going to start flushing out that extra water. Well, guess what? It looks like you've lost weight on the scale. It's not fat weight. So an excessive amount of more than 2 pounds a week. Now, some men, the more muscular you are, can actually burn up to 3 pounds of fat per week. So just know that. Take it one day at a time. Don't beat yourself up over it, because that's nothing but the enemy telling you that you shoulda, coulda, woulda, or, you know, you're not worth it. Stop it. Stop beating yourself up. Appreciate who you are, what you're becoming, and appreciate the progress that you're making. It takes those small steps each day to get to that goal. So you're not going to succeed at whatever goal you're looking at overnight. And something else to look for too, don't set yourself a goal of a number on the scale. Set yourself a goal more of maybe a pant size, or maybe a goal of I can run with my children more, my grandchildren more. You know, set yourself goals like that that are more measurable instead of a freaking number. So anyway, drop the scales. Again, set realistic goals, because you can definitely do that. Mistake number 2, depriving yourself. Here are just a few of the many hundreds of fad diets that are out there on the market. Fad diets are ones that don't normally last very long. They usually last 2 or 3 weeks, and then you're sick of it because they deprive you of certain food groups, or they have crazy stuff, such as one day you eat only fruits, the next day you eat only cabbage soup, the next day you eat only starchy vegetables. I mean, it's just crazy stuff. So, but it gets to the point to where all we do is our mind is so consumed and so focused on what we're eating, when we're eating, just that, I mean, it's just, it overtakes our minds to the point to where it really becomes more of an idol, because we're so focused on it, we lose focus of our purpose. We lose focus of our Lord. We lose focus of where we get our strength from. So food ends up becoming, in a twisted way, an idol, and that's not what God intended food to do. He established it to nourish our bodies, to keep us healthy, to be more fruitful in the kingdom, to replenish His temple, our temple, the body. So it's important that you don't fall for fad diets. And again, one size does not fit all. I do tell my clients, after giving them a meal plan catered to their age, height, weight, and current activity level, I do tell them to pick one day a week after eating the meal plan I give them. Pick one day a week, and in that one day, pick one meal that they eat whatever they want to eat. And when they do that, they tend to come back and say, whoa, I've eaten so clean that the food doesn't taste like it used to taste. It doesn't taste to me like it used to, so I don't crave it like I used to. In fact, it made me sick. So that's a good thing, because it raised awareness of it. Don't deprive yourself of something that you're desiring. You know, just cut back. Moderation is definitely the key. You want to go on and eat something. Just cut back on it. If you're wanting a dessert, then share it with somebody else after your meal. Don't go for the dessert first. A lot of times our body is giving us signals that we are deficient in a certain nutrient, either a micronutrient or a macronutrient, and it's something that we're needing. So say for instance chocolate, if you desire chocolate every day, that could be the reason why maybe you're low on iron stores, or maybe your body needs some serotonin. You know, there are reasons why that you crave certain things. So give in to these binges, or not binges, give in to these little cravings every once in a while, or you'll eventually end up going on a very bad binge, which is not healthy for the body. And this is your binge right here. You'll end up going for things that you normally don't eat, and most of the time you'll end up consuming an excess amount of carbohydrates, just because that tends to be more of a comfort type satisfaction. In fact, carbs, especially your simple carbs, interact with certain types of chemical hormones in your brain to give you that antidepressant type feeling that makes you feel good. That's why they're known as more the comfort food. So little bits here and there throughout the day or throughout the week is definitely better than a full day of binging. So don't deprive yourself. Your organs, your overall body function. So it's important you don't go too low. If you're at least 5 foot tall, being a female, you need no less than 1,200 calories a day. Being a male, you need no less than 1,800 calories a day. Now this is going to change based upon your activity level, your age, your height. It also goes into account your bone mass versus fat mass versus muscle mass. All of it is intertwined. So again, that's just a general rule of thumb for the lowest that you should go. When you go below 1,200 calories for women or below 18 for men, more than likely you're going to slow your metabolism down to get to the point to where it's a pure plateau, and you're not going to be able to lose any more weight. And I know that sounds confusing, but your body has its own reserve system, and it protects itself. It's a survival. So it's important you fuel your body. And the more you exercise, you want to fuel it with more proper foods, more nutrient-dense foods. So don't go too low in calories. That's one of the biggest things that I hear. I can't lose more weight, but I've dropped my calories so low, I just don't understand. Well, you got to fuel your body. You've got to fuel that metabolic fire. Let's just kind of say, for instance, if you had a rick of wood, and this rick of wood was, let's just say 5 pounds, okay? It's 5 pounds of food, because we're going to fuel this fire, and this is our metabolic fire. If you put little bits on it throughout the day, you're going to constantly have a little blaze going, which is great. But if you put like lumps on that fire, it's going to like poof, boom, and then you don't have much food left, much wood left to go on that fire. That's like if you go out to eat at a buffet. If you overconsume, you haven't actually leveled out your calories for the day, and that metabolic fire is going to eventually burn out through the night, and no coals are going to be left for the next morning to keep you going. To add that second rick of wood to that fire, and you want to have those coals burning, those metabolic coals. If you go without putting any fuel into that fire, it's going to eventually wear down to coals, and those coals are going to wear out, and you still have that rick of wood sitting over there to the side. So you've got to use the right amount of wood or calories and the right combinations in smaller portions throughout the day. It's not a savings account, and you can't look at it like a savings account to where you save it up all day long. It's important you slowly put it on all day so that you keep that metabolic fire burning. That is essential, very essential. Intuitive eating principles, and there are 10 of them. The first one is to reject the diet mentality. You've got to look at it as a lifestyle. Throw out all the crazy diet info that you have in your head. You've got to rethink the way you've been thinking. And 2, you need to honor your hunger. Don't go beyond what your biological hunger pangs are telling you. You've got to listen to them. That's very important. The third one is to make peace with your food. You know, stop the conditional restraints you put on yourself. Give yourself some unconditional permission to eat. It's okay. That'll prevent you from uncontrollable binging. The fourth one is to challenge the food police. This is when the enemy wants to sneak in your head and tell you all these negative thoughts. Or even say, hey, I did this today, so I deserve this piece of pie. You know, just refuse any of that. Chase any of that so-called food police away. The fifth one is to respect your fullness. Eat slowly. It takes a good 12 to 15 minutes before the stomach signals your head, and it's a chemical reaction through hormones. It signals your head that you're full. So slow down, pause a little bit between it, and discover your true fullness. Stop when you're really, when the hunger pangs truly go away. The sixth one is to discover the satisfaction factor. So you want to be satisfied and not feel deprived. That's very important too. And think about healthiness, not skinniness, just pure healthiness. You want to be satisfied in moderation of foods that you like. The seventh one is to honor your feelings without using food. And we're going to get to that in just a moment, non-food rewards. But honor your feelings. And sometimes we go through emotional stresses in life, and don't use food as a way to suppress those feelings. The eighth one is to respect your body. You know, accept your genetic blueprint, because you know you're made up the way you are, and it's okay. Not everybody is made to be made of bones, and I don't want to be made of bones. I'd much prefer to have curves in the bones. So you know, respect your body. God created it in its most beautiful form, so do respect it. Fuel it up the right way. The ninth one is to exercise, to truly feel a difference. You don't have to do military type exercises. You just want to feel good from exercising. Exercise actually promotes energy. So, you know, brisk walks, little jogs, small weights, you know, anything to get you going that really helps out with the natural feel-good hormone that's produced in our brain, which is our natural antidepressant. And the 10th one is honor your health. You know that good nutrition, making good food choices, and exercising, that's going to provide the best nutrition for our body, God's temple. So don't, you know, honor your health. Don't let anything else pull you down. Our third mistake is to use food as a reward. I couldn't help but laugh when I read this, because that's what we tend to do. We reward ourselves with food. And you're not a dog. That's how you reward dogs. So let's focus on some positive things to reward ourselves with. Okay, on that food diary I mentioned earlier, you know, when you write down your foods, maybe even your emotions, the amount of sleep you got, and your, you know, if you're happy, you're hungry, whatever. I also want you to write down some non-food rewards that maybe you can do at the end of the week, or set yourself a day. I would do it definitely every week though. And a non-food reward would be such as going to the movies with a friend, maybe something you don't do that often, maybe just a night out with a friend, a night out with a spouse, maybe just a night in soaking in the tub, and you don't get a chance to often because you always have kids running around. I understand that. So if you're running here and there, but you need that time for you, and that's very important, that your body kind of relieves the stress, you feel better about yourself, you feel more motivated. So that's very important that you find that non-food reward, whether it be a new pair of running shoes or possibly even new running clothes. There for a while, when I first started running, I hated it. And to be honest with you, it's not my favorite thing to do. I'd rather lift weights. But I know I need it. I know I need some form of a cardio. So it's either biking or jogging with me. But I had asked my husband several years ago, I said, you know, when I turn 40, I want to run my first marathon. And it's just one of those things I want to prove not only to myself, but to everybody else. No matter how old you are, you can still conquer things that you've never done before. So he bought me a Garmin for Christmas, and a Garmin was great because it tracked my distance, it tracked my speed, how much I averaged per mile, and I can set it at the beginning of a 5K and stop it at the end. It tells me exactly what my speed was. You can even download it onto the computer and see, you know, your track and everything. So, I mean, that was great. It was a motivator for me because I'm very competitive, and I wanted to constantly beat myself. And there's also a virtual runner on the Garmin too that helped me. But that's what got me going. That was my little non-food reward, so to speak. Of course, it was not a very cheap non-food reward, but it was something that I just requested for Christmas, and my husband was happy to get it because he knew that exercise, fitness, and that's all part of my lifestyle. So little things like that, though, can definitely help. When I started running 5Ks, I was wearing just really old clothes, which was, you know, I have an issue with sweating in clothes that are expensive. So I know that's kind of twisted, but I kept promising myself, okay, if I do this 5K, if I do this 10K, or if I do this half marathon, then I'm going to go get a new Under Armour running shirt. Or I'm going to go get a new pair of running shoes. Just something that, it was a non-food reward that I felt like I earned, so to speak, but it's something that I enjoyed too. So focus on those non-food rewards, things that keep you motivated, that keep you going. Don't depend on just everybody else to keep on pushing you. You've got to pamper yourself a little bit, so don't leave yourself out. Mistake number 4, skipping meals. You can learn a lot from a sumo wrestler. How a sumo wrestler gains all of his weight is they skip breakfast, they skip snack, they skip lunch, they skip another snack, and then right before they go to bed they eat a very large meal. Your metabolism is best in the morning, and as you go on throughout the day it tends to decrease unless you exercise, and then it will increase. But the sumo wrestlers don't do anything all day long. Think about most Americans. We don't do much all day long, and we eat our largest meal at nighttime, right before we go to bed. So you can learn a lot from a sumo wrestler. You know how I mentioned earlier about your metabolic fire and you want to keep it blazing in a small little blaze all day long? You never want to let those metabolic coals go out because you want to make sure you have coals that will last you through the night. So you start your brand new rick of wood to put on the next morning. Well, this kind of explains it also. When you skip the meals, the body goes into a starvation mode. Basically, it slows the metabolism down. And when you do skip that meal, say for instance, if you know you're going to go out to eat at a buffet tonight, so you don't really eat breakfast, you kind of nibble, you skip lunch because you know you want to get your $15 worth of buffet, so you're going to tend to overeat at the next meal. And what happens when all of this takes place, you're going to end up with weight gain. So if becoming fit is what you're looking for, there's no victory in skipping meals. Mistake number 5, drinking way too many calories. Take note of all the sugar contained in each one of these. As you can tell, there's a lot of hidden calories in most of your drinks if you're not drinking just straight water. Even in your so-called healthy drinks, such as 100% apple juice, it still has a lot of calories in it that does not have any extra fiber or extra vitamins and minerals. So it's very important that you limit what you do drink with all the extra calories. Save your true calories for real food that's got fiber in it, vitamins and minerals, and really limit the amount of liquid sugary drinks that you do consume. Again, because most of those don't offer your best nutrition. A common mistake that we want to fall into is taking for granted what the treadmill or the elliptical says and it's not a one-size-fits-all. It's always going to be off. So don't take that as truth. You need to really take it with a grain of salt. One of the things that I've used before that's a little more accurate is called a body bug or body media. It's something that The Biggest Loser had used several years ago, but it's something that you can clip on your arm, and you wear it 24 hours. It detects when you wake up, how often you toss and turn through the night, and you can download it to your computer to see exactly how many calories or how many VO2 maxes or how high your VO2 max was during your exercise, to see what your intensity is. So those are a little bit more accurate, and it kind of goes along with your hormone levels too that happens in the middle of the night, because your body's hormones are going to be fluctuating through the night with the body temperature raising and lowering because of all these hormone signals. And there's going to be calorie burn with the growth hormone that's being released. So those are a little more accurate than the actual reading on when the treadmills or ellipticals. Something else that you can look at too is that you can plug in some things like on the internet, such as CalorieKing.com, and that's just one. There's a ton of different things out there that you can plug it in. You can also kind of get a little bit of ideas too with other apps that you can download on your phone as well. So there's lots of things that you can do to kind of get a little bit more accurate. But again, none of it is gold standard. So not even my body bug that I wore. So I mean, it's a little closer, definitely a lot closer than what the treadmill said. And not everybody's going to run on a treadmill, so you don't really know how many calories you're running. That's why I liked my body bug. So anyway, and I think now they call it Body Media or Body Fit. But there's a lot of different ones out there on the market that you can purchase. I believe Best Buy, when I was in there last, they had like 10 different varieties, anywhere from like $50 on up to, you want to spend $300 on it. Totally up to you. I ordered mine off the internet, and I did a 1-year subscription to it so that I could download it anytime I want. I just hooked it up straight to it. You can even get the kind where you Bluetooth it, sync it in. Totally up to you. So anyway, just kind of get an estimate. That's what they use on Biggest Loser right now. Is something similar to a body bug. It's just a different version, and that kind of gives them an idea of how much they have burned throughout the day. And the goal for them is to burn more calories than what they're intaking. And that's the goal. When you want to exercise, or when you want to get fit and lose weight, then you definitely want to burn more calories than what you take in. But then again, you don't want to go too low on your calories, because you're going to sabotage the metabolism. So do keep in mind, daily chores, you're burning calories. Cooking, you're burning calories. Grocery shopping, you're burning calories. You're even burning some calories while you're driving. Not a lot, but some. But you're really exerting a ton of extra calories while you are lifting weights and while you are exercising. So do know that that is very important, that you don't take that all just as, as truth. You've got to take it as a grain of salt. Just try to burn as much as you can throughout the day. That's the big thing. Take the stairs instead of the elevator. Walk way out in the Walmart parking lot to park your car. It's just little things like that that helps you to burn the extra calories. So you don't have to stress out all over it. Mistake number 7, not readjusting calorie needs as you lose your weight. Okay, as you start to lose weight, you will reach plateaus. And what happens is your body is readjusting, or maybe you need to readjust it. If you're used to consuming, say, 1,500 calories to lose weight, and you've dropped, say, 15 pounds, you're not losing any more, then it's time you move on down to 14, 13, or 1,200 calories. And that's just an example. Men would actually need more. If you start off with 2,200 and you're going down to maybe 2,000, then maybe down to 1,800 calories. So that's a factor. But you also need to consider other things too that can help you get off your plateau. One, are you lifting weights? Because that will demand your body to use more calories, and you will definitely start to lose more weight on the scale. Big misconception is that, oh, I need to cardio more, I'm going to lose more weight on the scale. Not so. You've got to have the weight resistance going against that in order to jack the metabolism around, and you want to constantly keep it guessing. So that could be one. Another thing too, are you getting enough sleep? That's very important because if you don't have enough sleep, you are definitely going to go through a plateau. Number 3, are your hormones regulated? And again, I'm stressing metabolic hormones. Getting enough sleep and eating clean is going to help regulate those hormones. So if you're not getting that and you're eating a bunch of junk or fast food, not getting enough sleep, if you're stressed out or drinking sugary drinks, then your hormones are going to be all screwed up. And that's just how our bodies are wired. So it needs clean food, clean fuel, so to speak. So readjusting the calories, increasing the sleep, make sure you get plenty of sleep. Also increasing your water. It's important you get enough water, 80 to 100 ounces of water a day, very important. So those are some things you want to look at. It's not just decreasing the calories, but look at other factors too, because your body is just like a multi-system of different works going in conjunction together. So you shouldn't stay on a plateau more than a week. So just know that, and you're going to have to do some readjusting if you are at the same plateau. So again, you might need to do some weightlifting to kind of speed things up a little bit. So just a little bit of tidbits there. So to finalize, I want you to be very happy though that you did lose a pound, 1 pound, 2 pounds, whatever it may be. It's a pound. And just know that the path to success is not always a straight path. So get that out of your head. And just know it will hurt mentally and physically. It is going to take time. It is going to require dedication and willpower and sacrifice. And there is going to be temptation. But you know what? It's going to be worth it. And you're going to feel so much better in the long run.